Hello, back on track with Devil Inside for the last time today. The final mix has just been done, and I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think I want to beat around the bush too much though. Dive in, listen to it, come back, talk.
Looking for an answer, gone just like before, and you don't know why. You're clutching onto straws, still you have to wonder how you found yourself in this web of lies. And as all your stars are fading, here's some bitter news. There's no sudden moment dawning, seems your day is due. Who's got your number, dragging you under? Better look out for the devil inside. Who's got your number, dragging you under? Better look out for the devil inside. You're coming up too short, looking for an answer. Then it comes along, and you don't know why. Such a simple thought, call it inspiration. Wonder where it was when you looked last time. And with all your senses racing, here's some better news. All the world is freshly painted, seems your aim is true. Who's got your number, dragging you under? Better look out for the devil inside. Who's got your number, dragging you under? Better look out for the devil inside.
Most of the change that's come since the last time I played it to you has been cleaning, tidying, the stuff that I think I've already done, and then I go in and I discover I just haven't. It's absolutely incredible how you'll tell yourself, must look at every track, must listen to every track, absolutely, every time, and yet you come across a vocal line that's just not been cleaned properly. So what I'm talking about really is this kind of stuff. Fade ins, fade outs, level management on breaths. There's sometimes when I'll try to do it in the wave, but really I think I'm better off just handling them in automation. When you actually I listened to the vocal line in solo, and there were phrases that had been sung at different times with different takes that had just different levels, different volume levels. And when you listen to them absolutely naked, you can quite clearly tell that there's a kind of a different ambience to the sound, and so you need to go in and fix that stuff. And it just very, very quickly gets masked to the point where you can't identify any individual problem, and so you think it all sounds great. But actually, it's just not true. You cannot take your eye off the ball. Breaths are particularly important, or long silences. I had sections of audio, like maybe 6-7 seconds trailing before Pauline actually began singing, where it was just flatlining, and you could hear her kind of, lip smack or have a breath, or just random pointless noise that's polluting the signal. I think, how the hell did that get through? It's just because there's so many things to look after that unless you really narrow it down track by track and really, really listen to them, you just miss this stuff. So I know these things to be true, and yet I'm still doing them. So maybe one day, I don't know. But now I can listen to the solo, I can listen to the vocals in solo, and they sound great. And there's been lots of that this week. Every guitar line has been kind of stripped down, listened to in isolation. Anything again, because some of these guitar sounds are so loud, so kind of grungy. If you just sit there with the guitar, like not playing anything, you just get this just polluting the sound. So lots of these little kind of vocal valleys around that stuff. And if that's not there, you just hear that hum, that horrid noise. A fair bit of processing on the drums, primarily around kick and snare, and tightening them up, becoming really happy with the sound. And again, we're in the twilight of our relationship with BFD. It's still in some of the songs that I'm writing, and so I'm not going to pull it out at this stage, particularly with the song that's so close to finished. But I am in the process of migrating to Groove Agent at the moment, and all new songs will be begun in Groove Agent. But for the time being, it still sounds great. I've never had a problem with the way that BFD sounds. Its interface and its integration with Cubase that just annoyed me once too often, and I freely confess there are probably solutions out there to these things, but I tried long enough without success to get to the point where we're done. But it does sound good. I really like the tightness of the kick and the snare. Got a snap to them. That's predominantly because I've discovered that I'm supposed to use gates on things. True story. I really like that kick sound, that's good. That's the kind of thing that I'll probably pull together some kind of preset so that I can use that as a starting point in subsequent projects, because there's no point reinventing the wheel for a lot of these sounds. If it's just a good stock sound, then I'm quite happy to say, right, well, I'll start there, and having said that, I've just said I'm stacking BFD on. I suppose that each individual preset and process will be very tailored to a particular drum sound, so maybe there's not much value to be had, I don't know. So that's all wonderful. Similar processing with the guitars. In terms of the holistic sound, I can now kind of focus in on any area of the song that has guitars in it. I've come to the conclusion the last couple of weeks I've done a lot of soul searching with mixing and trying to figure out what is it I'm trying to do. I keep following advice and going into ozone and doing something and coming out and thinking, why did I do that? I don't like it now. So I'm going to try using the information that I've acquired over the past 6 months or so. With stuff like low end focus, I really like, but in a very simple way, you know, a little bit of focus in the low end and not really getting too excited or worried about really understanding what's going on. It just kind of works and feels good. Similarly with the imager, you know, I'll pick the high end stuff where I'm more interested in hearing stereo separation and just, yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, happy with that. Brilliant. Move on with my life. Dynamic EQ, just I thought there was a little bit too much mud in the song, so just pull this 300 band down a little bit. I'm starting to learn that multi-band compressors are a kind of magical thing. This beautiful sweet spot between a compressor and an EQ that kind of get the best of both worlds. So I need to spend a lot more time playing with them and figuring out when they're preferable to a static EQ. You know, when are you supposed to use a regular compressor, a regular EQ, or a multi-band compressor? And right at the end, obviously, the magnificent maximizer just pays for ozone all on its own. Even if I never use another tool, this thing is awesome. Just makes everything sound better. So wait right till the very end. Make sure my output bus is at 0 dB, a lesson learned. Pull the master slider down a little bit, just set it off. So very, very happy. I think this has been a difficult project to get finished. I was unhappy with it for the longest time and it wasn't all hanging together, and suddenly in the last couple of weeks it's all coalesced, and now I really like the sound. I think I've got good stereo separation and the sound kind of feels crisp. So long may that continue. So I hope you enjoyed this project. I think it's been a fun one. I've learned a lot during Devil Inside, and we've ended up friends, so you can't say fairer than that. If you did enjoy it, please consider subscribing, hit notifications, then you'll find out when my other content comes out, and I hope to see you then. Thanks very much for watching.